The Mandalorian drops on November 12th of this year, and 15 days before its release, Lucasfilm drops another trailer, and I was so excited, and Pete Fletcher was so excited, we decided to create a brand new YouTube show just to celebrate it and any other program that could happen on Disney Plus that is Star Wars related. I'm David Amilati, one of your hosts. Joining with me, of course, Pete Fletcher that you see here on your screen, and this is the first content ever under the streaming Star Wars brand. This is incredible to be here in this moment. Pete, let's be honest. Frankly, we didn't think this was going to ever happen. There were some delays, mainly on my end.
Well, you and I have had some fun times on each other's shows, and we were looking for something looking for a way to get together and do some work together. And streaming Disney Star Wars content seemed like the way to go and the right thing to do. And it just so happened that this morning we announced our new show, Streaming Star Wars, and it was very nice of Disney to decide to drop a Mandalorian trailer on this day. If I'm being honest, I gave them a call this morning. I said, "Look, guys, we're launching the Streaming Star Wars channel today. Could you give us a little bit of a bump?" And they said, "Well, if you can wait till tonight, we could probably get that trailer out." And I said, "We'll give you till tonight, but we really could use the help." And so
that's really interesting,
they did.
Pete, because I sent Kathleen Kennedy a text.
And
I got no response, but then I sent a fax to Bob Iger, and Bob just said, "Done."
Oh,
I didn't know what that meant.
So, well, he must have talked to Filoni after I gave him a call. So
incredible.
That works out well. It really works well. But the thing that sucks is I haven't actually watched the trailer yet. I've been waiting eagerly to do it, and so this is sort of an example of what you're going to get from our show in a couple weeks. When it goes live, is we're going to watch content. We're going to watch Disney streaming content like The Mandalorian, and then we're going to open it up to conversation.
All right, Pete, you ready for this thing?
I think I am.
All right, so here we go. Here's a first on Streaming Star Wars with Ammo and Fletcher, a trailer review and breakdown. Let's see how this goes. On 3, 2, and 1. Very familiar shot here.
Yeah.
Nice boots.
I just love the skulls on there.
I know, I love how we're seeing blood on troopers now.
Oh, I love.
What are those things called?
Blurgs.
That's right, the blurgs. Because I thought that they were that creature on Tatooine. I got that wrong. Oh, Trandoshan's.
Trandoshan's.
Heck yeah! Oh yeah, the shock, the electric there.
They look much better when they move.
Oh yeah, look at that. I'm all about carbon freezing.
All of them. Yes. The Razor Crest. There she is.
See, that's the shot. That landscape. I freaking love that, man.
Yeah.
Snowspeeder there on the right, maybe?
Oh yeah. What is that?
I think.
All the creatures here in this cantina. Oh, I saw my friend Dominic Pace.
Oh. Blaster right. The guys had right walking out. That was great.
The child?
I love that shot looking up. It reminds me of Rogue One.
Totally.
You just feel like you are in prison. I like that beast.
Whoa, what is that?
Sledding with the Mandalorian.
There he is.
I'm interested about that space pursuit a lot. Gina looks great. Cara Dune, I should say. Little Moff Gideon.
Oh, are they taking off his helmet? Oh.
Bill Burr.
Oh, he just jumped out
of a
Is the
Mandalorian on top of Moff? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Good. I love that cloak over the logo. I always thought that was so smooth. How cool is that?
Wow. Holy cow. That was phenomenal.
So
there's so much to digest in that. That was great.
When we're unpacking this, Pete, the first thing that I think if we're talking about what's new, maybe I just didn't catch this before, but the Mandalorian mounting Moff Gideon's ship, I'm pretty sure that's what we saw in that last sequence.
Yeah.
And that completely changes my head speculation about what was going to be happening in this first season, because my assumption was that maybe this Moff Gideon guy is somebody who's already aware that, hey, it's, what is it, 4 or 5 years after Return of the Jedi, the Empire is fractured. Maybe he's trying to create his own sect, maybe. It's interesting. It looks like we have the Mandalorian mounting a ship, so I wonder if that's...
Looked like a TIE fighter to me. Looked like the inside of a TIE fighter cockpit.
So how does the Mandalorian get up? Does the Mandalorian have a jetpack? I don't think I've seen a jetpack on the Mandalorian so far.
Not yet.
Oh
Not
my
yet.
gosh.
Anything can happen. Oh my gosh. So to me, what was your favorite shot? My favorite shot was, I mean, it was a minute and 45 seconds of
Right.
phenomenal shots. I'm gonna have to watch it 26 more times. But the blurgs walking on that canyon edge, to me, that felt. I mean, the whole thing felt Star Wars, but that just there was something magical about that. That sucked me right back into old school Star Wars, the Star Wars that we used to play with our action figures when we were kids.
I think Star Wars is so visual for me. I always appreciate the visual storytelling that George Lucas did, and I think that you're seeing how maybe the students of Lucas are doing it their own special way. We've seen that with J.J. Abrams. We've seen that with Gareth Edwards. We've seen that with Rian Johnson. We're going to see what J.J. does again with this world here in December. And obviously here we're seeing what Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are doing with the sandbox that George Lucas created. It's those like wide shots of terrain. You're
Yeah.
seeing the Razor
Yep.
Crest come down on that planet with all the trees, the forest, and that just something about that. It just takes me back to like, especially the prequels when you got to go and see when maybe a ship was approaching Naboo, and you got to see what looked like an entire hemisphere of the planet. You just huge landscapes, and to me that really
The speeders, the whole. Yeah, you're 100% right. Yep.
And speaking of that, I really do want that to be a snow speeder or like a snow speeder. Like remember, Lego came out several years ago with a sand speeder, and everyone was like, "What the hell is a sand speeder?" This hasn't been in any of the movies. Maybe that's what that is. I don't know. That's just a complete guess. But
Well, I'm feeling like we're going to see a lot of stuff that we had heard about that got sort of canned, that was supposed to go into things, and toys that only existed in toys before. And I think we're going to see a lot of that come to life. What I saw there, I couldn't be more excited about what's coming up. I know it's early to start speculating, but I wanted to read to you a little bit I found a little article, and I think it probably appeared in a couple places, but according to this happens to be on Slash Gear, and they said that if we take a peek at lead up to this trailer, we see teasers, trailers, articles, and leaks. And a tip from the first episode will contain at least one doozy of a dramatic Star Wars universe spoiler, whatever that means, it says. Any guess as to what they could put in the first episode that could fall under that category? I have an idea.
Okay, what's your idea? Go ahead.
My thought is that they are going to confirm Boba Fett's death, so that way they can make sure that it's everybody knows this is not Boba Fett. Boba Fett was a Mandalorian, whether armor wearer or Mandalorian himself. But I think they're going to confirm Boba Fett's death in the first episode. It is Tatooine, I think.
I think that's a really good guess, only because I think of what Dave Filoni said about IG-88 and the decision that went into bringing IG-11 to life. This idea that fans had these pre-established relationships and understandings of the character IG-88, and he wanted to pay respect to what was EU, what's now been determined as EU. Let's create a new character that's similar to that character and tell a bunch of new stories. I could see it, and it would be. Honestly, it would be a pretty bold move out of the gates.
It would be a doozy, as they said there, yeah.
Well, it would be fitting. And there is going to be no pre-screening of the first episode of The Mandalorian or any of The Mandalorian, really, as far as like a full episode is concerned. What you just referenced, that quote that you pulled from, was last week when members of the media were able to see, I think it was up to about 27 minutes of random footage from the series that was kind of parceled together, but everything overwhelmingly positive. And I think what really excites me, and it's reinforced in this trailer real quick, Pete, because I know that we're going to wrap things up, but just the choreography, the simple moves, but they're aggressive, they're quick, they're swift. The Mandalorian is a killer. I still think the coolest Star Wars death we've ever seen is from the first trailer, and we kind of see it in this one where he lassos the guy and he pulls him through the door. He's going to blast the door panel, and it's going to slice this dude in half. That's awesome, and that's Star Wars.
And so many familiar aliens. That guy was a Quarren. We saw Rhodians. We saw Ugnaughts. We've seen a little bit of everything, and that's what I'm excited about. That's what brings me back to this universe. But there's so much coming up, and we're going to have so much to talk about on our show. And once we get to start seeing these episodes and taking them apart, not only just you and I, but David, the most exciting thing I think about streaming Star Wars, our new show, is that we're going to open the chat and open our show to the people who join us live on Friday nights.
It's going to be a great opportunity for when you join us in that live moment. And again, November 8th of this year, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, the live chat will be open for us to have a conversation where Pete and I can be talking about a certain scene or something that we found emotional. Maybe you have an idea that gives us a completely different perspective on that scene or that moment. you can share that with us in real time, and then we'll all be able to have a conversation together. We really want to engage you, our live audience, so we want you to play this critical role. The only way we can do that is to give you a voice in the moment. And we want to remind you to watch the show. You can do it one way, really, which is watch it live on the Beyond the Blast Doors YouTube channel. Again, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, Friday nights. The next day, the audio version, the podcast version, will be made available to you, where you can find Around the Galaxy. Of course, that's Pete's podcast. So wherever you find his show, you can find this in the podcast form as well. But it's really important that you know where to get the latest news from us. So when we go live, we have announcements, we get special guests joining us. We're going to make that announcement first every time. Streaming SW on Twitter. So at Streaming SW on Twitter, that's where you're going to get that late breaking news. You can interact with Pete and I on that show. Pretty much that account, Pete, I think is going to be strictly just show announcements. You know, you have your account at Fletzer Pete. Mine's at BTBD David, and that's where we do a lot of our personal takes or hot takes.
Yep.
You push your merch a lot, so
I gotta start making some streaming Star Wars merchandise. I gotta get that out there.
The softest of fleece is what we use here at Streaming Star Wars. But no, we're really in for a fun treat, and I'm so thankful that you and I were able to make this happen. And I guess I'll see you on November 8th, my friend.
I cannot wait, man. Bring it.
We'll see you all soon.